Across the Philippines, a quiet transformation is taking place. Retired American soldiers are leaving behind their old lives, seeking not luxury, but a sense of belonging. Men like David, once isolated in Ohio, now find purpose as Kuya David in small villages, tending gardens and sharing stories. For these veterans, the Philippines offers what America could not: genuine community and acceptance. They are not wealthy expats, but men on modest pensions, searching for connection and a higher quality of life. Here they are seen as individuals, not just as veterans. Their stories are about healing, rediscovering purpose, and building lives rooted in kindness. Home, they learn, is not where you're born, but where you are truly seen. In the Pearl of the Orient, these forgotten soldiers are finding a new dawn. This is the story of their unlikely sanctuary. Ron, a retired Army Staff Sergeant, and Tom, a Navy veteran, both struggled with isolation after their service. The transition from the structured, purpose-driven world of the military to civilian life was jarring. The bonds they'd formed with fellow soldiers were suddenly replaced by long, quiet days and a sense of being adrift. Ron's Texas apartment echoed with loneliness, each room a reminder of the camaraderie he'd lost. Tom's Florida retirement, though surrounded by sunshine, felt empty and disconnected, as if he were living in a world apart from everyone else. Both men missed the camaraderie and purpose of military life. The laughter, the shared struggles, and the sense of mission were gone, replaced by memories and a longing for connection that civilian life rarely offered. Searching for answers, they found online forums filled with stories of veterans thriving in the Philippines. These digital communities became a lifeline, offering glimpses of hope and stories of transformation from others who had walked a similar path. The posts spoke of warmth, respect, and a welcoming culture. Veterans described being embraced by their new neighbors, invited to community gatherings, and treated with a level of kindness that felt both surprising and healing. Skeptical but hopeful, Ron and Tom reached out to others who had made the move. They asked questions, listened to stories, and weighed the risks and rewards of starting over in a foreign land. The veterans they spoke to were honest about the challenges, adapting to a new culture, learning a new language, and being far from family. But they emphasized the sense of community they'd found, a brotherhood that extended beyond borders. After a lonely holiday season, Tom decided he couldn't spend another year feeling so alone. He booked a one-way ticket to Manila, determined to find out if the stories were true. Ron, inspired by Tom's courage, soon followed, leaving behind the familiar for the promise of something new. They met through a veteran group, two strangers united by a shared search for connection. Their first handshake was more than a greeting, it was the beginning of a friendship built on shared experience and mutual hope. In the Philippines, they weren't running from America, they were running toward a place to belong. The vibrant markets, friendly faces, and slower pace of life offered a sense of peace they hadn't felt in years. Their journey was not about escape, but about rediscovering family and purpose. They found themselves welcomed into homes, invited to celebrations, and given opportunities to help others, rekindling the sense of mission they'd missed. Together they began to build new lives, grounded in hope. They volunteered, learned new skills, and supported each other through the ups and downs of starting over. The Philippines became their fresh start, a place where they could heal, grow, and belong. The simple joys of daily life, from morning walks to shared meals, became the foundation of their new happiness. Here, they found not just a new country but a new sense of home. Surrounded by friends, embraced by community, Ron and Tom discovered that it's never too late to find where you truly belong. For Ron and Tom, this was the beginning of a second life, a chapter filled with laughter, adventure, and the comfort of true companionship. Their story is one of courage, change, and the pursuit of belonging. A reminder that home is not just a place, but the people and purpose we find along the way. Ron's first days in Manila were a rush of new sights, sounds, and smells. The city pulsed with energy, jeepneys weaving through traffic, street vendors calling out, and the scent of sizzling food drifting through the air. Every corner seemed to offer something unfamiliar, and for Ron it was both overwhelming and exhilarating. The chaos that once triggered anxiety now felt vibrant and alive. Instead of feeling lost, he found himself swept up in the rhythm of the city, noticing the small details, the laughter of children playing, the music from open windows, the constant movement that made Manila feel like it was always awake. What struck him most were the smiles, genuine, unguarded, everywhere he went. Strangers met his gaze with warmth, and their friendliness was disarming. It was as if the city itself was welcoming him, one smile at a time. Tom's first market trip was awkward, but a local woman helped him with currency and mangoes, asking nothing in return. She explained the coins, laughed with him at his confusion, and made sure he got a fair price. Her kindness was simple, but it meant everything. These small acts of kindness chipped away at years of isolation. Each gesture, no matter how minor, reminded them that they were not alone. The community seemed to have an unspoken rule: help is always given, and no one is left behind. At a roadside eatery, Ron was treated like family, not a customer. The owner insisted he try local dishes, and other diners pulled up chairs, eager to share stories and laughter. The sense of belonging was immediate and genuine. Meals were shared, stories exchanged, and barriers dissolved. Food became a bridge, connecting people from different worlds. Every meal was a celebration, and every conversation brought new understanding. Filipino hospitality was not just a custom, it was a way of life. It was present in every handshake, every invitation, every shared meal. The warmth of the community was felt in every interaction. Neighbors offered help, shared food, and extended invitations. Doors were always open, and there was always room for one more at the table. The sense of community was strong and unwavering. For Ron and Tom, this open-heartedness was a revelation. It was something they had rarely experienced before, and it changed their perspective on what it meant to belong. They learned to lower their guard and accept connection. Slowly, they realized that vulnerability could lead to friendship, and that trust could be rebuilt, one day at a time. In the Philippines, kindness was the foundation of community. It was the glue that held people together, creating a sense of unity and support that was impossible to ignore. Slowly, they began to trust and to heal. Surrounded by kindness, Ron and Tom found not just a new home, but a new sense of hope and belonging. After months of renting, Ron and Tom decided to build their own homes. In the Philippines, this meant joining the community, not just hiring contractors. Ron bought a small plot near the coast, working side by side with local builders. Tom's bungalow featured a wide porch designed for neighbors to gather and share life. Building was a communal effort. Neighbors helped unload materials, no payment expected. The process embodied Bayanihan, the Filipino spirit of unity. Each nail and wall was a step toward belonging. Their homes were simple but rich with meaning and connection. These houses became symbols of new beginnings. For the first time in years, Ron and Tom felt anchored. They weren't just building structures, they were building lives. The village embraced them and they embraced the village. In these humble homes, they found stability and acceptance. Here, they truly belonged. In America, thank you for your service often felt distant to Ron and Tom. In the Philippines, their military past was met with curiosity and warmth, not solemnity. Locals saw them as people, not just veterans. They were Sir Ron and Sir Tom, welcomed as new community members. Filipinos separated the man from the uniform, focusing on stories, family, and shared meals. This acceptance was deeply healing. They didn't have to explain or justify their past. Their service became just one part of who they were. The Filipino value of pakikisama, getting along, meant harmony mattered more than status. Here they were neighbors first, veterans second. This shift allowed them to move forward, not just look back. In the Philippines, they found not just respect, but true inclusion. It made all the difference. Ron never expected to find love again. After years of service and sacrifice, he had grown used to solitude, believing his days of companionship were behind him. But life in the Philippines, with its gentle pace and welcoming spirit, surprised him in ways he never imagined. He met Maricel, a single mother and dedicated teacher at the local church. Their first meeting was simple, but something about her kindness and sincerity drew him in. Their conversations were unhurried, grounded in the rhythms of daily life, talking about family, dreams, and the small joys that made each day meaningful. When Ron finally opened up about his military past, sharing memories both painful and proud, Maricel listened with deep empathy, never judging, only understanding. She gently told him, "That was your past. I see the good man you are today." Her words offered comfort and acceptance he hadn't felt in years. Her acceptance helped heal wounds he thought would never close, giving him hope that he could start anew. As their relationship blossomed, Ron found himself not only a partner to Maricel, but also a father figure to her young son. He learned to laugh again, to play, and to care deeply for a family. Family life replaced his loneliness with laughter, purpose, and a sense of belonging he had long forgotten. Maricel's family welcomed him with open arms, affectionately calling him Tito Ron. He was no longer a stranger, but a cherished member of their close-knit circle. Sharing meals, stories, and traditions, Ron felt the warmth of true acceptance. He was embraced not just as a guest, but as family. Love gave Ron a new mission, devotion to family, not just duty. He found joy in everyday moments, from helping with chores to celebrating milestones together. His house, once just a place to sleep, became a true home, filled with laughter, warmth, and the comfort of belonging. For Ron, this was the final step in his journey of healing, a peaceful heart, surrounded by love, in a land that felt like home. In Maricel and her son, Ron found the family he never knew he needed. And together they built a future filled with hope, acceptance, and unconditional love. Life in the Philippines wasn't always easy for Ron and Tom. Tom struggled with Filipino time. Appointments were flexible, not fixed. The noise, power outages, and bureaucracy were frustrating. At times they missed the predictability of American life. But the same community that challenged them also supported them. When Tom was frustrated, a neighbor would invite him for coffee and laughter. "Here we have more time than money," they'd say. This gentle wisdom helped them adapt. Fellow veterans formed a support network, sharing advice and encouragement. The dual embrace of locals and expats created a safety net. They learned that adaptation meant letting the Philippines change them. Through patience and support, they found resilience and belonging. In the Philippines, family extends to the whole barangay, the village. Ron and Tom became valued members, not just residents. Tom used his engineering skills to help neighbors, accepting only meals in return. Ron supported the local school, buying supplies and mentoring students. Their acts of service gave them purpose and connection. They were invited to every celebration, woven into the fabric of village life. Loneliness was replaced by constant social interaction. The barangay became their new platoon, their extended family. Here, they found roles that mattered. Their contributions were valued, their presence cherished. In the barangay, they found the belonging they'd longed for. For these veterans, the Philippines became more than a destination, it became home. Here they shed the weight of their past and rediscovered themselves. They were no longer defined by war, but by who they chose to be each day. Home became a feeling: smiles, laughter, shared meals, and unconditional acceptance. The Filipino spirit of community and kindness healed their deepest wounds. Their story is a testament to the power of connection and the resilience of the human spirit. As the sun sets, Ron and Tom sit with family and friends, finally at peace. In the warm embrace of the islands, they found their sanctuary. They built more than houses. They built new lives. In the Philippines, America's veterans finally came home.